Hey, good afternoon everyone. I implemented new things, so we're gonna see how to have enemies spawn in our level. We're gonna see damage, so when I shoot 5 times in the chest, they're gonna die, so they're gonna play an animation. You're gonna see some bloods as well, so you're gonna see also when you shoot them in the head, they're gonna die in one hit. So we're gonna see how to do this. Um, We're gonna see how to put our ult, their ult. They also can attack me right now. There is no animation, but they can attack me. And when you die, it's removing your AI, display the new AI, and the enemies are going back on patrol after that. So we're gonna see how to implement all this, and in a couple of video probably, because there's a lot of modification all around. So I'll catch you on the first one. So now in the project here, we're gonna have to do some modification to add the new things. So the first thing we're gonna do, we're gonna go to our player HUD here. So player UE5 HUD. We're gonna go in this, and here we're gonna implement the elt. So I'm just gonna take those two things here, just move it a little bit down, and I'm just gonna duplicate this line here. So and this number. So let's duplicate that one at a time. So I'm gonna duplicate the bar here, and I'm gonna rename this the alt bar. So I'm just gonna do this, and same thing with the number. I'm just gonna duplicate that number, and I'm gonna make sure it's right there. So I'm just gonna move this around here, something around those lines. I'm gonna make that much equal as possible. Let's look good. So from that now we're just going to compile, and I'm going to create the elt logic behind that. So just click on your thing, on your progress bar, and we're just going to go and create the logic for this basically. So to do that, when it's selected, you go to the percentage here, and we're going to create a new binding. So just create a new binding. And I'm just going to move that out of the way. As usual, I'm just going to rename this because I don't like just to see this. I prefer when it's like this. And from that, well, we're going to take a reference to our character. So the my UE5 player. So just drag that there, do a get. And the target will be our health, right? So just make sure that it's there. You can see that the health it's not there, so we're just gonna go and create the health for our character. So just go back to my UE5, and here we're gonna create the health. So just add a variable, and we're gonna call that health, and we're gonna change for a float. And I'm just gonna make sure that my health is in the character. So let's see if I have it here. There's no character here, so I'm just going to leave it there for now. I'm going to go back here, and now we should be able to find elt. There you go, we have elt here, so we're going to do a get from that. And we're just going to drag that, and we're going to divide. So just type divide, take it, and just plug it to the return value. Here we're just going to put 100 because we want to divide that by 100. And we're good with that. So we're going to compile and save. There's an error here because in the character I didn't compile, so I'm just going to compile and go back, and now it's fixed. So we're going to go back, but this time it's going to be the elt number that we're going to do. So in the UE, I'm going to go back to the design tab here, and we're going to click on the number this time, right? So you can even click on this one, right? The one below. So we're gonna go to the one below just to show you something. So we're gonna go to the one below, and you see our stamina number. It's pretty much what we need. It's like this. So I'm just gonna copy this, so I won't have to write everything back here. And if I go back to the designer tab, when I click to my health here, I'm just gonna create a binding to it. So go to your text here, so under content text binding, and just create a binding. I'd say text 0, so I'm just gonna rename this, and I'm gonna call that get health. If I know how to write, as usual, I have no idea. So health, and I'm gonna call that the same as the stamina here. So I'm gonna add number. I'm just gonna move that out of the way. Control V for what I already duplicated from the stamina. And here we're gonna take a reference to our character once again, do a get. And now we're gonna search for health. So we're gonna get the health. We're gonna need a max health. So we're gonna go back to our character, and we're gonna create another variable. And this one we're gonna call it max health. And I'm gonna make sure that it's a float. So we're gonna compile. So our normal health to start, I'm gonna put 50, and our max health will be 100. So I'm gonna compile all that, go back to my player HUD, and now I should be able to find my max health, get your max health, and we're gonna put that right here. So first we're gonna change the name for stamina. We're gonna put health, and same thing here. Oh my god, I reverse my letters all the time. So gonna health and max, and result to the return value here. So we're all set for that. I'm gonna go back to the designer tab. The only thing here that I want to make sure that we get a good color for this. So we're gonna go in the style here. We have the background and the fill image. I don't have any image, but I'm just gonna change the tint for it. So okay, the tint here, and I'm gonna put a red. So that's gonna be the background. So I want that a little bit darker. So something around this. And when it's filling up, so when I'm full, it's gonna be a full red. There we go. Perfect. So we're good with that. So we're just gonna compile and save that. And we can go back to our player and do the logic here. So we have to create 2 custom events. So we're gonna create the first one, so custom, and I'm gonna add a custom event. I'm gonna zoom, and I'm gonna rename this custom event. This will be our Regen Health, and I'm gonna create another custom event. So, and this one will be our when we die. So I'm gonna call that dead. And from that we have to just search here for even any damage, and so we can receive damage with our character. So we have all that, so we're just gonna compile that. So now we're gonna go on the top here on the event begin play, and we're gonna make sure that I'm gonna move that out of the way. When we start the game, we regen our stamina, but we want also to regen our health when it starts. So we're gonna search for regen, and we're gonna take health. So when it starts, it's gonna increase our number that we set at 50 and go all the way up to basically 100. Right? If you don't put that, nothing's gonna happen at the beginning of the game, at least. So we're gonna go all the way back here, and we're gonna start with our health region. So from health here, we're just gonna drag, do a branch, and from the branch here, the condition will be equal. So just search for equal, and the equal will be when it's unfreezing, obviously. I'm assuming it's gonna crash. Oh, perfect, not. So on the equal here, we're gonna take our health. Oh my goodness, I don't know what's happening here. We're gonna get our health, and our max health. So we're going to plug the health on the top and the max health on the bottom. From that, we're going to set our health. So we're going to take health, we're going to set our health, and the health will be what we gain. So we're going to drag from health, we're going to search for clamp because I don't want not this one. I'm going to search for clamp, I'm going to take the one that float. So I don't want my value to go above my normal health, below my normal health and max health. So I want to make sure it's not going over any of that. So what we're going to do here, from this, we're going to search for plus, and we're going to plug health to it. And we're going to take our max health and plug it right here to max health. So every time this is firing off, I want to gain 1. So you can put the number you want. So if you want to remember what that does here, you can just put something like health gain, and you're all set. So you're going to remember. And from that, we're going to do a delay. And the delay is what you want. So me, I want that every seconds. And after that, we're just going to do a loop. So we're going to recall our function, our custom event. So we're going to recall that. So now it should work for us. So we're just going to take all of that, do a comment, and I'm just going to call that Regen Health logic. So let's see if it's worked for us. So we're going to go in our map, do play. So now you can see that it's not going up here. So we're just going to see how to fix that little issue here. So we're going to go back in the code here. Here we're just going to see here it's on true. So we're just going to unplug this and put it to false, and it should fix the issue for us. So let's go back play. So now you see the health is going up. So if you go here on your HUD here, if you click on your bar, you can change the color. So if you go all the way down here, you're going to take and the fill up opacity color, you're going to put red here. You don't need any color here, so we can remove that, but fill that color here. We're going to do the stamina at the same time. So we're going to click on stamina. You can see it's green, so we can change that color to green. And now when you play, you should have red and green. So we can see that it's full red. It's not like going up like the green bar. So we can fix that as well. So I'm gonna go here and just gonna put that back to normal. And what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna link my progress bar back to the health bar here. For X reason it was not done. So I'm gonna compile here and play. Now you can see it's filling up in red and green. So that's perfect. So this it's done here. So in the next little episode here, we're gonna see how to do our death function and get some damage. So I'll catch you in the next one.